today we're going to be taking our elements that we've talked about, line, shape, texture, color, value, and we're going to be creating one project. All right, so when we did yesterday's, we talked about lines when we did the roof lines. So we've got like the peaks and the straight lines and the stair step lines. We talked about shape when we did the doors and windows, all the different shapes we can use there. And then texture, we talked about, I think on Tuesday, where we did like the drippy, the brick, wood, broken glass, smooth, okay, all of those. And then color, we did color practice last week, and where we also incorporated value, where we go from light to dark, okay? All right, so we're using all of those to create our ghost town today. So here's one example. It's not done, but at least you can kind of see it. This is kind of like that Old West example I showed you. I've got jail, bank, general store, law office, hardware, and that was going to say Doherty something, but I didn't finish it. But in this, you need at least 4 buildings, okay? I have 6, even though you can't see all of it, but at least 4, and you have to have some texture, okay? So you'll use your colored pencils to make things dark and light. Like I've got, and it doesn't have to be crazy. Like I've got little bits of brick texture there. Let me zoom in a little bit more. And like little bits of wood lines. And then like this door has some wood on it. There's some shingles. So it doesn't have to be, again, it doesn't have to be crazy, but don't just color it. Hold on, give me a second. But for this one, no, let's not outline because this is so little. If you outline a marker, it's going to overpower it. So that's one style. This one's like a little more like old-timey or even more old and kind of a little more grand, not like Old West style. So this one's really decayed. The other one wasn't. So this one's got like cracks in the wall. The brick is exposed. So that's one way. You don't have to do brick over the whole building. I can only see these little parts like in the examples we saw yesterday. So there's just little tiny bits of brick showing. I've got broken glass. I've got a boarded up window with a piece of wood. So there's another texture. This piece of trim is falling off. This little awning is deteriorating. This part of the roof is collapsing. This whole piece of the wall is missing. And then this started to be a building. Then somebody asked about doing a cemetery on the side, and that's fine. So I added a little gate. And then I have like the little tombstones. And you could make those more elaborate, like some of them are real fancy. And then I've got like a creepy tree in the background. But again, just kind of ignore that because I started to draw a building and then changed it. If you do that though, you're going to need a horizon line somewhere back there. And then this one, like the door is open, another boarded up windows. Okay, this was supposed to look like the wood was coming off, but somebody said it looked like a ghost, which it really does. And then I've got more like wood siding details, okay? So a lot of small details for this project, but you need texture, and then I'll go back. I'm not done with this because it needs to be colored or at least shaded. If you're doing signs, I would write in those all caps like we talked about yesterday. Do you have any questions? No? We're all good? Okay, I'm gonna come by with your paper, and then y'all can get started.